Women only ask for space from the nice guy. Let me say that another way. Women are biologically inclined to take massive space with disgust if you show these 3 nice guy tendencies in today's video. If you don't believe me, watch this.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's because no woman wants a weak male.
What's up, my guys? Most girls won't admit this, but for your sake, I will. I hate nice guys.
What do you think about nice guys?
Nice guys typically want something from you.
All right, y'all. Why do women cheat on the nice guy?
Why is that indeed? Don't women want to be treated nice? This causes so much confusion for men who are taught to be gentlemen and caring toward women growing up, especially because women even say they want a nice guy.
Girls do like nice guys. Actual nice guys.
Sahar said it best, and you know what? It also comes down to chivalrous men, because chivalrous men don't expect anything in return for being kind. And I just thought I should get the word out.
And when you try to ask a woman why she takes space and leaves nice men, she may say,
I just need to focus on myself. I'm going through something really hard right now. I just need to find who I am.
Or even that it's her childhood trauma or her attachment issues. But none of those things would matter if you weren't a nice guy. And if you choose to believe her when she says those things, not only will you never get her back, but you'll fail to learn what parts of you that she really rejected, and so the same pattern will repeat in the next relationship. And trust me, I saw it so many times with myself and other clients. And if you don't learn this, you'll be bitter towards women. However, if you, number 1, learn the truth about why women take space from the nice guy. Number 2, you identify the 3 core nice guy behaviors you're silently doing that you're not aware about. And number 3, you reverse those behaviors with powerful masculine attraction traits. Not only will she come back to you, but you'll double your confidence in life that'll pour over to every domain of who you are. Fitness, health, career, everything. Now I'm gonna share with you those 3 nice guy behaviors with 3 different stories. And the last one's about myself, so stick around for that one because it's pretty embarrassing. There are fundamentally 2 reasons why women lie to you about why she's taking space. The first is that she wants to not be mean. In a woman's mind, it's better to lie to you and maintain the relationship and be nice to you, to not hurt your feelings, instead of be honest with you and give you that direct feedback to improve. And I know in your male mind, you're just like, just tell me the reasons why. I need to know so I cannot have it happen again. But in her mind, the way she thinks about this is, you're a good guy, it's just not a good fit. She thinks there's some other girl out there for you that doesn't want you to change. But to her, she doesn't realize that it's actually detrimental to be that way. The second reason is that she honestly doesn't even know the real reasons. This is why women, when they actually take space from a guy, or the reasons why they leave them, she can either say, I don't know, I just felt it in my heart, or she gives the most random reasons that don't even make sense. For example, I even had a guy in my marriage mastery program come to me, and I said, hey, what is one of the main reasons why she's leaving you? And he said, because I'm not a dog person. Yeah, you should leave a guy if he's not a dog person. Who's not a dog person? I'm just messing, but the point I'm trying to make is that women will latch on to whatever reason they can think of because they don't know the truth that I'm gonna tell you right now. The first story is with my client, Travis. Now, Travis met a girl named Nicole, and they dated for about 4 months. Things were going perfect. They had the same taste in music. They had the same sense of humor, same movies. They had similar religious upbringing, and they came from a similar hometown. All of the boxes were being checked. He was like, this is potentially my dream woman. And then one day she said that she was gonna go to Cabo with some friends. And at first, Travis felt a little weird because why did she want to go to Cabo with all these single friends? But that's okay. He was going to let her go. He didn't want to be controlling. So she goes to Cabo and he says, you know what? I'm going to call her to let her know how much I care. So he starts blowing up her phone a little bit more than usual. A couple extra texts throughout the day, a couple extra phone calls, and she wasn't responding as fast as she used to. So Travis became a little bit worried. So one night he decided to call her 4 times in a row. The next morning, Nicole called back and said, hey, there's really bad cell service here in Cabo. I'm fine. Travis is like, okay, I just wanted to make sure. I was reaching out to you because I just wanted to ensure that you were okay, right? Everything was fine. So Nicole comes back and things seem all right. They start hanging out again. Everything is back to normal and Travis feels good. But as soon as they have sex for the first time, right after that, Nicole started to argue and get mad and find things in Travis that were a big problem that were never an issue before. She started asking about Travis's past and he was honest, and now she was making it a big deal. And he said, well, you never made this a big deal before. I told you about my past, about how many girlfriends I've been with, how many women I slept with, and it wasn't a big issue. And Nicole got all upset and she just left the house. Travis started panicking. That's when he reached out to me. He said, Josh, like, this is the story. Why is she pulling away? And this is what I told Travis. I said to Travis, you use one of the hidden nice guy behaviors that a lot of guys do in relationships, which is offering hidden help. So often with guys, for example, that are in my marriage mastery course, what will happen is that the wife will move out and the husband will find just random ways that why he needs to reach out to her. Like, I need to talk to her about this bill. I need to reach out to her about this thing. And that constant reassurance and needing to help her through the guise of actually seeking validation from her that everything is okay, a woman knows that truth. She knows you're not calling her phone 4 times because you're worried about her. She knows you're calling her 4 times because you feel insecure that she may be sleeping with someone else. And because women are super intuitive, she picks up on that. It's a very low value. And that's why Nicole started to find reasons in Travis why they just weren't a good fit anymore. It's because he was being needy. Now for Travis, instead of using hidden help, he must cultivate the understanding that everything is gonna be okay. And that even if she decided to cheat on him, that in his boundaries, in a relationship, that he should expect her to tell him and that it's her loss if she decided to cheat on him. The second story is with David. Now, David met his wife back in college. They were both about 22, 23 years old, and they'd been married for about 10 years. They had a couple of kids, but early on in the relationship, they're the kind of relationship that was just hot and heavy. I mean, passion and fire. They would get in these huge fights and blowouts and then have great makeup sex. And that's because David himself was an addict. And what I see with a lot of other addicts who tend to be sober for many years, they miss that chaos in their life, in their subconscious brain, so they replicate that chaos in their relationship. Now, because his wife was, in David's words, a bad bitch, she started making more money, she was really confident, and this one thing David loved about her. But over the years, David just stayed at his normal job. He had a couple small promotions here and there, but nothing that big. Where his wife, she went to graduate school, got her master's, right? Was leveling up her game. She started working out more. And over the years, David was like, well, she still loves me. Everything's great. I'm glad that she's doing her. She still has sex with me. Nothing is really wrong. And then she started to stay later at work. She started to go to the gym more and stay there longer hours. And then she started to hang out with single friends, wanting to take trips. All the while, David thought to himself, this is still not that big of an issue. I mean, if there was a problem in the relationship, she would tell me. These are just signs that she wants to improve her own life. Then the first major sign that things were really wrong is that his wife started to deny sex. And when they had sex, it just wasn't the same. David couldn't really pin his finger down on it. There was less eye contact. She wasn't as passionate as she used to be with him. So David, in his logical, solutions-focused mind, finding the problems and then solving them, he thought to himself, you know what? I'm gonna come home early from work one day. I'm gonna clean the whole entire house. I'm gonna make dinner and I'm gonna set the mood and we're gonna have an amazing night. When his wife came home, she was stressed out and she thanked David for the dinner and she noticed the house and said a comment on it. But when David went to go have sex with her, she said she had a headache, she was tired, she was stressed out, and that she wasn't in the mood. That sent David into an outrage. He was like, what's going on? Are you sleeping with someone else? And he just blew up, he reacted. I know what you're thinking. That was justified. David sat there and said, what is going on? Why are you doing this? And that's when his wife said, look, I'm no longer in love with you anymore. We're just going through the motions. And David, for him, that came out of nowhere. Now, what did David do incorrectly across this whole entire story that led to that blowout? The one thing that he did that was really bad that a lot of guys do is what I call a covert contract. Robert Glover did in his book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. However, what a covert contract is that it's an indirect contract you make with your wife without telling her that if I do this thing, she will do this for me. And it's never communicated. And that is a very indirect, needy, nice guy approach that a lot of men don't realize are pushing their wife away. With David, instead of using the covert contracts, you use direct requests. You say exactly what you need and have appropriate boundaries that you directly state because you're not afraid of conflict, which ultimately a nice guy is. When I was in college, I met my dream girl, the girl that was like a perfect 10, that I never thought I could get a girl like that. And life has a weird way of testing us. So her ex-boyfriend moved below her in the same apartment complex. And I was cheated on in a previous relationship, so I still had that trauma, I hate that word, but trauma, if you will, that carried over, that baggage into the relationship. Of course, every night that she wasn't over at my house and she didn't answer her phone when she was out, of course, what was I thinking? She was doing things with this guy, she was hooking up with him, that she still wanted him because he left her. And since I was left by my ex-girlfriend and I kind of wanted her back when she left me, I projected those same insecurities on her with her ex. Let me show you how this played out. And the biggest mistake I learned from this that you can hopefully learn yourself. One night, it was his birthday. And everyone went to the same bar in my college town, little Irish bar that all the fraternities and sororities went into. And I remember sitting there at the end of the night. I was there with my girlfriend, and she was following him around the bar, like almost like an orbit, right outside of wherever he was. And I was watching this go down, just sitting at this table with my best friend's girlfriend. And we're watching this go down. I'm like, are you noticing this? Am I making this up? Please tell me I'm not psycho. Right? My heart was beating super fast because I was like, she really wants this guy, right? She wants him back. Toward the end of the night, she was about 5 feet away from me, talking to him. I was sitting there, stuck, frozen. I had no idea what to do. I turned to my best friend's girlfriend and I said, like, should I interrupt? Should I go up to them? Should I just leave? Like, should I fight the guy? Like, what do I do here? And of course, she didn't know either. Like, what is the right answer? So what I chose to do in my somewhat intoxicated state is I walked up to both of them. I didn't even make eye contact with the guy, but I could feel his smug eyes bearing into me, right? And I said, hey, I'm going home. And I just stood there. She looked at me and she looked at him and she looked back at me and she said, okay, I mean, why don't you want to stay? I said, well, I want to go home. And she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll talk to you later. I don't want to go home yet. Now, on the outside, seemed innocent enough, right? I just said I'm going home. If I was a confident, assertive, trusting guy, that wouldn't have been an issue. I could have set some boundaries with her and that guy sooner, but we're past all that. I didn't make a direct request. I made what's called a reluctant request. I was being very feminine and indirect. By me saying I'm going home, I expected her to read my mind to want to go home with me. Because I was afraid to be super direct and have her reject me. So I did it indirectly. Of course, she came home later that night and the cops were called. No physical abuse, never, ever, ever, ever. But we were yelling at each other. Neighbors got scared. They called the cops. Not a proud moment for me. And the relationship did not turn out so well down the road. But in that relationship, I was never direct with my requests. They were always reluctant requests. I was so scared to just be honest with my emotions because I didn't want to get rejected. And so often, so many guys will do that are nice guys. They will not say exactly what they want. So the girl doesn't know if she's crossing your boundaries. So she's gonna do whatever she wants to do until you say otherwise. And she only respects and stays with a man. It doesn't take space from a guy who is direct and honest with what he wants. Instead of me using a reluctant request, it's kind of similar with the direct feedback, but I need to assert my strong boundaries and be honest with my emotions. A lot of men, they stuff their emotions down and they hide their true feelings, and it comes out in indirect, resentful ways that the woman picks up on, but she doesn't know why you're being an a-hole. She just says that he's just being mean, and I have no idea why. And that's because I was afraid of rejection, and ultimately the nice guy is as well. Here are 10 hidden nice guy habits that make her discuss it. I highly suggest you watch it. Thank you for watching the video. Smash like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.